All right, I want to show you first this one. Anyone watched this movie before or know this movie, what it is about? What's the name of it? Up. Very simple, right? Do you know it's not fully fiction? So it comes from a real story, real life story, inspired by that, at least. Do you know what that was? Anyone saw this picture before from the 80s? I think the old. The Larry Waters. It's called a lawn chair pilot. You know what he's famous for? Sitting on his lawn chair. I remember the photo we saw before with lots of balloons. Now I tell you the story was about this guy. So it's coming from this person's real life story. So Larry Waters, that's his name. He has often dreamed of being a pilot. Flying a plane, right? Be really cool. That is the best job he can ever imagine in his whole life. But very unfortunately, back in his day, I think it's 1980s also, that is a time is when you want to become a pilot, you have to have a perfect eyesight. Not like today, you have the autopilot, you have everything to have a lot of computer assist you, but back then, the manpower is still the most important one. So he did not have a perfect eyesight. Or honestly, his eyesight was not good at all. So he was not able to be a pilot. But he was not satisfied and not able to fly. So he think about another way, closest enough to his dream, that become a truck driver. So still driving every day, but different things. Still transport, right? After years of driving his truck, he feeling that so bored, he feeling his dream can never be fulfilled. He decided to do something very different. So actually went to a place is called a store actually selling the surplus military supply. So what he bought how many? Decided to try. So he bought a tank of helium. So that's is it cool? Yes, and 45 weather balloons. Weather balloons is not those balloons we use for the bridal shower, right? Those are huge ones, and he got 45. And apparently his maths was not that good. He thought with 45 balloons and with all the gas filled in, he might just fly up maybe 1 or 2 meters away from his lawn. So it would be still safe, still just like fulfilling the dream and just pretending he's like a pilot. Unfortunately, because he's a bit in the older time, nowadays you have many different ways you can try it, but back in his time, he just didn't have any luxury. So he had 45 balloons all pumped up, and he sit on his lawn chair, and we're thinking after he cut all the ropes, time to where the station himself, he was going to fly about up maybe maximum 10 meters. That's how he worked out. But unfortunately, his math was really poor. So it's 1982 in July, the 2nd of July. So instead of flying only 30 meters away, it becomes how far it was. Let me have a look at the figure. 4,600 meters. Shooting like a rocket. And actually holding a gun in his hand because he was thinking if he want to fly too far, he's going to shoot some balloons. He can come down. But he go too far out, like 4,600 meters. He did not even shoot any balloons in case it just fell and died. So he was holding on his chair, and it was that high, over there. It was a summer day, but up there is no longer summer. He became freezing cold for 14 hours floating on that height, until he went into, I can't quite remember what airport it was, but airport staff, actually ground staff, noticed something flying there with like big thing. They thought it's terrorist attack. So they call up the police, and the police and the army and coming want to shoot him down. And then he actually start waving his hand and arms, and people notice he's sitting on a chair with a telescope. I thought, what is this guy doing? But he's holding his hand is holding a gun, right? So they all thought he's really dangerous. So they send a helicopter to wait and keep announcing to him, don't shoot, otherwise we'll shoot you down. And then he had to drop his weapon. He dropped his weapon, actually. I don't know where he will land in the end. And finally, they get him down to the ground. When he's down on the ground, it becomes the head news, of course. People was amused, what is this guy doing? He's out of his mind, he must be crazy. And he was sent to the court, and court gave him 3 charges. That only happened in the US, right? Those charges. The first, you're flying an unlicensed aircraft, his launch aircraft. Second, is you're flying an aircraft without a license. So he doesn't have license to fly his launch aircraft. So, and the third charge is, I think this is valid, he's holding a weapon, but in the aircraft. But literally that is nonsense, all those charges. But because of this, he became really famous for a time. And then a news reporter actually interviewed him, asked him, why are you doing these goofy things? It just doesn't sound right at all. But he actually had his own logic of thinking. And then his answer actually is encouraging, at the same time is rebuking. That's what he said. A man can't just sit around all his life. Sometimes we'll just sit around and wondering and dreaming what we can do in our life, but we're not actually practicing it. It's hard to have that courage as he does. Yeah, the way he did it, that's like, we just give a laugh. But how many of us thinking if we sit there doing nothing, keep driving the truck, you will never fly? So at least he tried, even though he failed, and become a nationwide kind of joke at the moment because it's famous now. But anyway, a man can't just sit around all his life. That is a topic I want to share today, is passivity, how passive or how proactive you want to do in your life. Sometimes we think, oh, those people are trying to fulfill their dream, they quit their job and go and do certain things. I got a friend, he really loves photographing, so he quit his job, he became a photographer. That's for 10 years ago. He got such a good position in one accounting firm called Ernst & Young. He was up to the director, he's moving on to the partnership really soon, but he quit his job, become a photographer. In the end, couldn't make any money, and everyone was feeling he's crazy. Now he's quite a well-known photographer. He's in the US. Well, in his sphere influence, I think. But I haven't seen him on the headline at all, so I don't think he's that famous. But his wife told me he's famous among their friends. But at least he's making a living, doing something he's interested in. Sometimes we don't even have the courage to try. Come smaller things in life. How many, you'll all look younger than me, but I do feel like sometimes I get in like sore necks and sore back, and because I've been sitting in front of the computer all the time, too much. Even though I try to use the stand-up desk, but I never stand up and always sitting down, so I never use that function. And after a while, I felt, oh, I'm just getting old. That's a symptom of aging, right? So what can I do, right? And then my colleagues are telling you, why don't you just go and do some exercise? Basically, who is a really active person. I know he's young, he's in 20s, so he's really active. He walks to work every day. He lives in South Yard, walk to the city. He walked like 40 minutes a day, back and forth, so like 1.5 hours walk. And tell me, you can just do the same thing. But I thought, well, I don't have time to do it. And also, I think if I go to the gym after work, then I get home late, and then my wife will get upset, why you don't come and help me with the children? So I get lots of excuses. And after a while, I think I really learned from the story from the Bible I'm actually going to share today. I thought, wow, passivity is really not a good thing. It's really a poison. Because I'm getting old, but I'm not that old yet. I'm not in my 70s, 80s. So I feel that is kind of soreness in my body is not doing me any good. So I start picking up my long gone habit again, getting my bike. I ride to work every day. I don't go to work every day. I go out to the office twice a week. So, but I do live quite far away. I live in Donville, so I ride 1.5 hours to work. I keep telling people 1.5 hours, but actually I don't ride from Donville. I ride from I drove a bit closer, so I'm making sure I go about 1 hour away from work. So I ride back and forth. Yeah, and also I'm thinking maybe I go to the gym, but how can I find time to go to the gym? And then I told my wife, let's go to the gym together. Because my wife also says she always got that back pain, right? She go to the physio all the time. So why you waste the money? Just spend the money going to the gym. And God really helped us to find a gym membership was really good too. They're like buy one, get one free. So you have main member, the other person can go with the main member together. And I'm really strategically, I put her as a main member. So I said, I want to go to the gym, you have to go, otherwise I can't get in. So making her have to go with me. And after a couple of weeks, she enjoyed the idea so much, and she went at it without me now. So she actually liked going to the gym. She said, I feel lighter. She feels just like not as heavy before. And all these things is helping us. So passivity is really a poison. Proactivity is the solution to actually help you to find the solution, right? So topic today, passivity. Why I have come up with this topic, what the Bible story actually originated from. I want to share with you 3 stories related to the same person. This person is famous, well known. His name is called, I'll come back later. Let me share the scripture reading today. I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can work. So don't wait and drag too long. Time and life doesn't allow you to wait for that long. Let me share with you the story of this person. Is scene number 1. This person, his name is called Jacob. So Jacob was a really important character in the Bible. You all know Abraham. So Abraham had the son, it's called Isaac. Isaac had 2 sons. One of them is called Jacob. So Jacob was Abraham's grandson. So because he was not the firstborn, he is not technically because he was born as a twins, but he's the one came out later than his slightly older brother. So he's trying to get his firstborn right, because at that time, firstborn right is very important. You get lots of inheritance, and also including the spiritual inheritance. And because he used that with the trick, so his brother called Esau really upset with him. And after many years, he went back to his, trying to go back to his hometown. And his brother even tried to kill him. But God intervened, and they reconciled. And now Jacob's family resided in Canaan. And when they were in Canaan, Jacob's daughter mingled with the people over there. And Jacob's daughter apparently must be really beautiful. And the boy really liked her, but the way he tried to connect with this girl was so wrong and defiled her. And Jacob's son, they were really, really upset. And they used it as an excuse, not just to kill this person, they killed the whole city and robbed the whole city. And then Jacob gets really, really upset with his sons. But see what he said, even though he's feeling so really upset. He said, then Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, you have troubled me by making me omniscious among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the parasites. And since I am few in number, they will gather themselves together against me and kill me. I shall be destroyed, my household and I. But they said, should he treat our sister like a harlot? Well, obviously, they're feeling angry for a reason. I think it's the right reason too, to feel upset, feel angry. But the way they did it, in the revenge, is went too far. And Jacob, as a father, at this point in time, his rebuke was like too soft and too gentle. What he's really care about is, what? The people are gonna kill me. So my fame would become like ruined because what you've done. But what about those people for the whole city? How small that city is going to be will be hundreds of thousands of people, right? And they kill them all. Is that too much? But this father did not continue on his rebuke, and no consequence with this rebuke either. The Bible didn't record it until years, 40, 50 years later. At this point in time, nothing happened. He did not worry about his son's character. He did not worry about the effect of those people being harmed or being killed at this very moment. But as we know, things will come up not just in one occasion, and once you leave something passively, not deal with it, and then a consequence will slowly unfold. And sin number 2, still coming to Jacob in Genesis 35, Jacob moved again and back to Bethel. And now his favorite wife, his first love, Rachel, died because of childbirth of his 12th son, Benjamin. And after Rachel died, and one with disgraceful things happen. It shouldn't happen in the family. And this happened in Jacob's family. Verse 22, and it happened when Israel, that means Jacob, dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard about it. That is terrible, right? That's incredible crime. That, according to what Moses law, this son should be actually stoned to death. That is ridiculous. But what did Jacob do? The Bible didn't record he said anything about it until 40 years later, when he about to die, and then come up as a rebuke and a curse. 49 verse 3 and 4, he said, Reuben, you are my firstborn. Oh, unstable as water, you shall not excel, because you went up to your father's bed, then you defiled it. And the rebuke only come at this time. And also come back to sin number 1, when they slaughtered the whole city, now the rebuke also come. Simeon and Levi are brothers, cursed be their anger, for it is fierce, and their wrath, for it is cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. As if that is like a prophecy coming. You know what, for the Levites? They became a tribe or just for the priests. And they cannot hold lands. They cannot have income. The income is basically only from the tithe and offerings. So they scatter all around because they need to perform their duty. And it was a curse because, as Jacob said here, but in the end, God made that a special privilege for the Levites. Only the Levites can be the priests and the high priests. But the problem is this. What causes these things happen in their life? Why this curse need to happen in this tribe of Levites? Why Jacob did not tell them they have done wrong, try to change their character, rather than in the end as a rebuke and a curse? God did make it in the end as a blessing for the Levites to actually enjoy this special right. Those 100 years after, right, when Moses came and then Aaron become the high priest and then continue on the Levites. But what God made it become a blessing does not change the fact that in the beginning, the human errors and the fault of those people. Simeon and Levi, deceitful act, slaughtered the whole city. And Jacob did not try to rebuild the character, but his concern is about what's my safety and what happened to my name in this land. A passive father. We thought, well, what a big deal, right? In the end, it seems nothing really happened anyway. That is only 2 incidents. But passivity is not just about the sin itself. You reap what you sow. That's only 2 cases recorded in the Bible about what Jacob did with his sons. And now he needs to reap the harvest for a 23 years mourning and bitterness. Sin number 3. This is one very famous sin. So Genesis 37, 26 and 27. So Judah said to his brother, what profit is there if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Who's this brother is referring to? Joseph. They hated Joseph because Joseph was the favorite one, right? And they were from a mother, either concubines or from from the other one is Leah. So they were not the favorite ones. So they knew their mothers are not the favorite wife. And they knew Rachel was a favorite one, and Joseph was a favorite wife's favorite son. So basically, all the love is coming to that son, and they feel really jealous all the time. And now they have opportunity. And come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites. and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother in our flesh. And his brothers listened. And what happened to Jacob? Then Jacob tore his clothes, put sackcloth on his waist, and mourned for his son many days, because they lied to him and said, your son Joseph died and eaten by the wild beast. But actually they sold him as a slave. When Joseph was sold, do you know how old he was? 17 years old. You know when actually Jacob actually knew he was not dead and then met him again? Joseph was 40, so 23 years. He thought his son has died. And also he'd been mourning every day for 23 years. The bitterness he need to harvest because he's sowing the seed of passivity. He just let it go. He still thought, well, my son will outgrow from it. Maybe my family will be different, but nothing he actually redone. Even in the conflict among his wives, he didn't actually do much. The Bible didn't tell us much. He just feeling upset when Rachel actually was upset with him that he's not taking particular favoritism on her. Jacob has been a very passive person in doing family business. And because of passivity, he reaping the result of a bitterness. Some may say, well, because Joseph went to Egypt, he in the end he became prime minister, right? And so he saved life of millions. So it was a blessing. So in God's plan. But God can also save the millions of people in a different way if the human didn't make the problem, didn't make the mistake. In the end, God will still save. The blessing in the end, it doesn't excuse our fault in the beginning. So Jacob was a contributor in the family's problem. His passivity continually leading to tragedy, one after the other. Think about it, if after his son slaughtered the city, if he rebuild their character, he focus on what is really happened, he do the right thing, would the second sin happen? Would the third sin happen? We don't know, it's hypothetical, but likely it may not. But because he didn't deal with them, one after the other, the chain reaction from one to the other continue on. Isn't that the same in our life too? What is the consequence of our passivities? Is anything you feel I need to address to it, I need to change, but I don't really have the motivation, or I just don't see how I can get through it? Maybe your morning devotion, right? So sometimes I find getting up early in the morning to do morning devotion is really hard. Sometimes I want to sleep a bit longer, and my current job actually made me some changes because I start work at 7 o'clock in the morning. My boss is really good, so I start at 7, so I can finish at about 2:30, 3 o'clock and go home. So I'm motivated to get up early, so I get up at 5 o'clock nowadays. I also need to work out the time to cycle to work too, right? So maybe we're getting earlier and earlier. So sometimes I'll think 5 o'clock, that's so early. Why don't I can sleep another 15, 20 minutes? Have you ever things you want to change in your life? What about in your job situation? Have you ever think about, my work culture is really toxic. Being a Christian has given me no space. Even just making known I'm a Christian already, that is a challenge. And people actually mock at me. Should I actually change my job? Should I actually not to? What should I do? Maybe that's your relationship with your family or your friends. That you know something to work out, but you're trying to avoid it, try not to talk about it. They will go past and let's just keep quiet. Don't touch about this, and don't touch about the topic. When you talk about finance, when you talk about children that you don't have children, yes, maybe talk about your family or your parents, about how you deal with the in-laws relationship. You always have disagreement and things like this, but you try to avoid those topics. But does that mean if you avoid, it does not exist? very often if we try to ignore these things, it just becomes a bigger issue. I think most of you from like a health professional, right? You're from a health industry, right? So I showed this picture to you. It's not really pleasing picture, but I think it's okay. You know what's this? A fungal nail, right? It's a terrible thing. It's like a contagious disease. It's really awful. We're still not really clear when exactly it will pass from one to other person. We know in like a humid kind of environment, warm kind of environment, easy to pass, but not necessary. Just not 100% saying you can avoid it. So unfortunately, I got this. A few years ago, actually before COVID. I think I used to go to the gym and swim. So the doctor said, the specialist said, probably you get it from the gym, from the swimming pool, because you didn't wear your sandals when you had to walk around. So maybe in that case, it passed. We're really mild in the beginning, so I didn't really pay attention. And it became a bit more severe, but I thought, well, put some medicine and I think it should be gone. And then the COVID came, and it became really lazy. And I keep forgetting to put any topical things on it, and become more and more serious. And then it becomes like, doesn't look pleasing. So I think I got good looking finger, like toenails in the past, because I do look after it. But then it looks too terrible. And then lockdown finished. And then the problem comes, communion. You know, because I feel embarrassed, I don't want to go to communion. Physical thing lead to spiritual thing. And I'm really glad when I actually starting to have like when a communion said, oh, maybe couple can do the foot wash. I thought, oh, that's a good idea. When my wife is not so embarrassing. And then my wife was saying, you should go and you're going to see a doctor. I think it's good to actually to treat it. I thought, well, it's because I was already been working, couldn't see a doctor and make time for it, and also need to spend a lot of money on it. I thought I'm not so motivated. I think it will be okay. It will be treated. But after a long while, it's still not treated. And then I just thought, oh, it will never be healed. I didn't want to do anything about it. And then my wife, she got infected. Because we shared the bathroom together, right? So, and then actually, she used topical treatment. She's recovered, but he said, you have to go and see a doctor. I thought that's a problem too. I don't want to pass on the children as well. So I went to see a doctor. The doctor actually gave me the tablet to take and gave me the topical treatment and other treatment as well. I thought, wow, just take a year to actually heal it? Do I even want to do it? Not to do it. And then I decided to go and do it. I take a tablet faithfully every day and do my testing every now and then. And after not even a year, actually 8 months, I was fully recovered, I thank God. And now I'm happy to go to the communion now. I don't feel very embarrassed now because I feel sorry. Like I don't want to people that see the unseemly things. It's embarrassing, right? But but thank God actually give me the motivation to retreat it. You know, sometimes passivity is a big thing. Because in the beginning, I thought, oh, minor things, don't worry about it, it will be gone. But I've been really forgetful. Lockdown happens out of my control. I can still treat it, but I just thought, well, what's the point? I don't actually need to. It will be gone sometime. But after a while, it becomes worse and worse and worse until affecting my spiritual well-being. I didn't want to communion. I don't want to make excuses. I told my wife, can I tell people I'm sick? So I don't come. So, but anyway, sort of I'm sick. But anyway, so now I've been treated, I find, okay, the underlying problem removed, my spiritual, I can address in the right way. So our passivity sometimes becomes contagious. Don't think you're passive sitting there and doing nothing. It's just about your personal business, but affect your people around you too. Your family, your friends, your church members. When you deal with certain things, if that is not right, don't just keep silent and being politically right. You can stand up for something and to make a change. And passivity is really a poison. Not only in your family circle, not only in church, can be in a bigger environment. I show you a last story. I thought, actually, I think so. I'm sorry. Last story. So it's in the lower court. That was a case being presented about a woman. Now the judge was really upset. When I look at it, what did she steal? She stole something from the supermarket, was a loaf of bread. And the cost is 99 cents. And the judge thought that's ridiculous. You're wasting the taxpayers' money for this case for 99 cents. And then a woman came up. She was an African woman too. So the judge that was in the States, most of them, or not most of them, actually ex-president was like a lawyer too. But unfortunately, this judge was a Caucasian. So when I look at this lady, and then immediately he got my picture and said why she did it. And like, why are you doing this? That is disgraceful. And then this woman started telling her story. And she said, well, I'm doing this is not because I'm greedy. It's because I really have no other means. And then she's still telling her story. Her husband passed away 6 months ago and left with her 4 young children. And she, being a woman not so highly educated, she only finished her high school, not even complete. She couldn't find a decent job. With 4 children, where can she find the childcare to look after 4 children? She can't afford it. So she sold everything she had in the past few months, still couldn't have enough money to feed the children. And she's been applying for the social welfare, for social support, but hasn't actually get any response and haven't actually gotten approval as yet, been waiting forever. And she's had to take the children to the neighborhood and begging on the street, asking for food. And you thought people would actually show mercy, would be kind to them, but actually not. And the woman said, we've been trying really hard, but what we could get barely actually fed our children. So one night, she was a Christian, she's been praying, and after praying with children, and she went to bed with the 2 younger ones. The older ones were next door. And the older one were praying in their room. One was 4, the other one was 6. And they were praying. And the prayer really broke her heart. That's what the 2 girls were praying. The younger one was her turn to pray and said, Lord, please give me the courage, because I'm really afraid of the dog today when he's barking at me. Help me to have the courage so I can get something to eat and feed my brothers too, so mommy don't need to feel sad tomorrow. That was a simple prayer, but the mom started crying. And her heart was so broken because children didn't have enough food to feed, to eat for the last whole week, and they're all starving. So after all children fell asleep, she actually went downstairs. They have no electricity. They even about to run out of water because they couldn't pay any bills. And she went down with a bottle and wanted to fill up the water from the street. And then she had to saw the supermarket. And she couldn't resist and went in. When she smelled the bakery, and she's feeling really hungry, and she's thinking about her 4 children. And she walked in there, somehow she feels she's like possessed. As a Christian, she shouldn't have done it, but she did. She grabbed a loaf of bread. She wanted to grab the one the children like, the buttery bread, but she looked at the price, a bit too pricey. So she still have the conscience, I need to get something the cheapest. So I will not have this shop maker, the shop owner, to actually lose as much. But I really have no money, not even a cent in my pocket. And she sneaked that under her clothes and sneaky wanted to walk away. But the shop owner saw this lady coming in. He already felt the lady was a bit suspicious. So as long as she walked out from the door, and the security come and capture her and send her to the police station. And then now, long story short, coming to this judge, the lower court. And she was pleading to the judge, this was really my first and only time. I really can't see my children starve to death. That's the only thing I could even think of to do as a mother. The judge was, after they heard about this, and the whole crowd sitting around, they all like making noises and they're talking and chatting and asking, incredible, how could this happen in this society? In this place, there's so many wealthy people around and everyone being well fed and the government have so much money to pay out of social welfare. Why this woman will suffer things like this? And the judge was asking everyone to quiet and said, well, I'm feeling sorry for your case. I feel sympathy for you, but because what you have done, you only have two choices by law. First, you need to go into jail for 3 days. Otherwise, you need to pay for the penalty for $500. And the lady was crying and crying and said, there's no way I can pay that money. I can't even afford to buy food. But I can't go into the jail for 3 days either. Otherwise, my children will be taken away because I don't even have a job. I can never take them back. And they will spread everywhere in the world. I can never see them. My children will lose their mommy. So that was the whole court was like really upset with this judge. And they said, how could this happen? That's not fair. And the judge quiet down everyone again. And he took up his whip from his head and holding the whip in his hand. He said, well, I've made a sentence as a judge. Because you have committed a crime, that was a penalty. I heard you can't go to the jail, but now you need to pay for the fine. Now without the wheat, I'm just a normal citizen. As a normal citizen, I feel guilty and feel shameful that what we have done to put a mother in shame like this. We all own a part in this fine. And then he started taking $10 note from his pocket and put it into the wheat. And he walked around in the court to every single person. Without saying a word, without asking an appeal, people taking money out from their pocket and putting into the wheat. In the end, when he come back, it's actually a lot more than the fine, the amount of the fine. So he put that in front of the woman and said, Mother, this is what we owe you as a society. What we owe you because you deserve all this. Not ashamed. We make you into a thief to steal. Not of your ill conscience. It's because of passivity as a community and our irresponsibility for the suffering you have experienced. Passivity is a poison. It's not only your person, only of you around your family. It ripples to the whole community, the whole society. Everyone will be suffered. You need to address your passivity. What passivity causing you this problem? As a church, you want to reach out to people, or we're being passive? As an individual, you want to reach out to your friends, are you being passive? If your faith being challenged, you don't know how to respond, study the Bible. Find the right word to say. At least you can make a prayer. Ask God to change that person's heart. Don't sit there and do nothing. Remember the lawn chair pilot. You may be sitting in your chair now. You're on your chair now. But someday the chair can fly. It's you make an effort. Don't think you're just sitting there and doing nothing on your chair, and then you actually never be a part to fulfill your dream. But God said, you can make a way. Just don't be passive. Be proactive about it. The Bible says, I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. Don't wait until too late. You never know if you even have the next day. Don't wait until too late to share the gospel with someone actually you have burden for. You don't even know will that person have the next day. Maybe next time I can share with you what really happened last year in my family. Lots of things happen and causing me to rethink life is so important. Don't wait. Don't remain passive. I have a nephew, he's 15 years old. I thought, well, still got a long time and still got lots of opportunity. Let me pray a bit more before I share with him. But with the accident, he just died last year. I thought my parents can have years to live. I still can have opportunity to let my dad, my mom know about God. But because my nephew passed away, my dad got a stroke and he nearly died. And my mom also got a heart attack. She also nearly died at the same time. I almost lost half my family. Sometimes you never know. You never know what will happen next. Your own life, other people's life. Passivity is a poison. Proactive in the Lord is the only solution. Don't passive and do nothing. You're all younger than me, I think. At least you all look younger than me. So yes, definitely be proactive about it. And do something. If you know something is not right, do something about it. And don't learn from Jacob until the time you're about to die. And then you have blurted out a curse. Don't have to come up with a rebuke. Learn from the lesson, and you can grow out of it. Let's over the prayer as we close. Dear Father, thank you for giving us time to share your word together. As we learn from the story of Jacob, we know we need to be proactive. We want to really be proactive in our life so it can be a positive influence of people around us. And not to be a contagious Christian in the right way. I pray, Father, you help us to be proactive from today. No matter what we need to deal with, we ask your Holy Spirit to lead and guide us. In Jesus' name, pray, amen.